What's up, guys? Okay, have I got some cool stuff to show off? All right, so let me get my screen set up over here. So, welcome to today's video. I don't make a video every day, so I don't know why I said today's video, but welcome to the video. Welcome to the live stream. So, I'm mainly creating this so that number one, other photographers can see it. Number two, clients might be able to see a little bit about my process. This was a shoot that was taken a couple weeks ago, actually, now, and I'm a little bit behind, if you can't tell. So I ran into something where I wanted to kind of show it off, but then I've got other stuff that I'm doing as well. So I'm going to be doing kind of a few different things here, right? So, number one, I want to show off a very important thing that happened in Lightroom just now, just happened. And I was like, man, I got to show this off. So let me bring you over to show you what I'm talking about. And this has to do with the, I don't know if they call it generative remove or whatever, generative, whatever. I'm going to show it off real quick. So let me see, how can I just show like these couple of pictures because I don't want to show the whole shoot. Okay. So I'm going to make a copy of these couple of pictures really quick. Let me bring you in here correctly. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Like this. Yeah, that works. That works. All right. So let me talk about this and let me make a copy of it real quick. So we're going to start with a virtual copy. And we're going to do a virtual copy of this one too. Because what I want to do is I want to basically reset these to 0, right? And I don't know if there's an easy way to do that. So I'm just going to reset them. There should be an easy way. I don't know. Maybe there's not. Let's see. Yeah, it's not going to delete masks or anything, is it? All right, so we'll just go into history view. You can kind of see what I was trying to do. So what we're trying to do here, and again, this is on a copy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go in and I'm going to, oh, it doesn't copy the history over. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So here we go. I've got a master reset somewhere. Master reset. Okay. And then I'm going to delete masks. And then I'm going to, the main thing I want to do is delete these. Removing area using AI. I don't want you to remove it again. I want to delete. There we go. So you can see what the setup was. Okay, so this was in studio. I've removed a bunch of little stuff here from the ground. I'm not going to take the time to go through and remove that for a live stream video. I feel like it's a waste of time. So what I am going to do is I'm going to show you exactly how it removes, how quickly Lightroom removes the extra stuff. You've kind of already seen it, right? You've kind of seen where we're going. So just humor me on this, okay? So I'm gonna go through. I thought I'm gonna have such a problem. I'm gonna have to take it into Photoshop. I'm gonna have to do all this extra stuff, you know, to get rid of what's not a background. And all I wanted to do is make it look like a background, right? And so literally, I'm gonna show you how easy this was. This is what I call stupid easy. Literally, I'm coming in to, if you're not familiar with the new remove tool, so you're going to click into the remove tool. That's this thing that looks like an eraser, okay? Or you can click Q, right? It does the same thing. So Q turns that on and off. Quick remove, Q is how I remember that. If you look at your modes here, right? So one is the eraser tool. That's the remove tool. The middle tool here is literally the old healing brush. Okay, in my opinion, it's not that great. It does have specific uses that make it good. I don't think that this is good. And then the stamp tool, which does what it says it'll do. It stamps. So let's go with the remove tool. Now there's two ways to use this tool. One way, which I'll show you, we have a magnetic board here, which I'll show you, and I'm just using the scroll wheel on my mouse to change the size of the brush. So if we zoom in here, see these are magnets holding on to the background. All right, this is a huge background backdrop. So we can just literally, if we don't have generative AI selected, okay, then we can literally click on it and it removes it. It's instant. It's super fast. It does a really good job. I usually don't have problems with spots and stuff like that. If you want to visualize the spots, you can click this thing that visualizes these spots, and then it's easier to go and like hit these specific areas. Like, see, there's a spot here in the background that I'll grab. This is part of retouching though. I don't want to get too far over near her, because what we did here, this is specifically trying to do a shutter drag, right? So we're setting the flash so that it is it's got basically a modeling lamp on, and it what it's doing is it's highlighting her. We're in a very, very dark room. We've turned all the lights off, and so all we're getting is the lights. This is something new that I'm playing with, right? So this is not something that's like, oh, this is supposed to be a final product. She knew that we were just playing around. Mom knew we were just playing around. We had already gotten the shots that we knew we wanted, especially for this outfit. So we're just playing around. So we were like, hey, let's play with some shutter drag, right? So basically what that does is, I say shutter drag, it's final curtain flash. So what we're doing is we're causing the flash to hit on the final curtain. So we're going to do a long exposure. And forgive me, I don't know what this one is. This is a 1 second exposure. You can see that over here. So this is a 1 second exposure. Again, I'm at ISO 200. I'm at f7.1 because I want to capture everything from her eyeballs to the back of her head, and I want her hand to be in focus. But when we start this, I'm telling her to go. She starts doing her movement, and then it's firing, and so it's a little. There's some timing issues that you got to get to, because you want it to fire exactly when she's in the air and all that. This was not the only picture we took of this, but I digress. So let me go back. What I'm worried about is this area over here. Okay, but let me show you how I did it first. What you want to do if you're using the generative AI, it's very good at just filling this in. But let me show you what I do is I just kind of start here. You want to overlap a little bit. You want to get some of this backdrop. And the reason why is you want it to know kind of, hey, that's what we want to try to replace this with. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that that's all selected. I'm just holding down and dragging. Okay. And I have detect objects turned off because I've found that it often gets too big. Okay. I'm just smoothing that out just so it's a nice even edge. I don't want it perfect. So look, I'm not changing the size of the brush. I'm just literally coming in here, holding down and dragging and going through all of this. I'll show you what it does. Okay. Now, when I click remove, it's going to do a little pop-up while it's actually doing the remove part. I'll drag that over so you can see it because it's on my other screen. Here you go. This is literally how fast this is to remove both these chunks, and it does them separately. And I'm going to show you this. This is awesome. So I selected them all at the same time, or one after another. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's fantastic. But I just straight out of the box, 30 seconds. So easy. Baffles me. All right, so we're selected on this one because you can see that it's highlighted. We've got 3 options over here. So we got 1, 2, and 3. They don't really look that different. So 1's fine. Okay. So again, it's generative remove, not regular remove. I don't want it to do regular remove. I don't think. Yeah, see how garbled that is? Now we'll just let generative remove do its thing. If we can click on it again, there we go. It'll bring that back. Then we can come over here and just click on this other eraser over here on the left, and we can cycle through our options for that side. It thinks it's maybe in a cave. I don't know what that is, so we're going to ignore that. I mean, just the first one is just, it's fantastic. It gets even the floor lighting right, which it's not perfect for this scene. This actually may be a little bit better. So let me click Q so we can look at it. I don't know. One might still be the best. Hold on, stop. Let's go back to that first one there. Yeah, I think one might be the best. Let me click Q to get out of it. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to make adjustments. So one of the first adjustments that I'm going to make here, I'll show you just, this is just how I walk through this. Okay. So one of the first adjustments I'm going to check is the new adaptive color. If you haven't tried out the adaptive color, you totally need to try it out because it's phenomenal. It gets you, you need to do it first. You don't need to do it after you've already applied stuff. Okay. It needs to be the first thing that you do. That's why they put it at the very top up here in the profile. So what profile do you want to be in? You want to be in your portrait profile? You want to be in a color profile? Do you want to be an adaptive color? You want to be an adaptive color. Let me show you why. It makes amazing adjustments that there's no way you can get there that fast. Okay. So this is 90% of the way there. Okay. It really is. It's 90% of the way there. It looks great. So what we're going to do is I'm going to increase contrast a little bit. Okay. Because I like a little bit more pop. I'm going to increase the shadows because I want to increase the shadows on her, and I'm going to separate the background in just a second and show you some more Lightroom awesomeness. I'm going to reduce the whites because that'll take a little bit of shine off of her face. Okay, not a whole lot, just a little bit. And I'm going to bring up my blacks just a smidge, like to a 3. And then let's add some clarity in. See, I like the clarity bump with that. I don't want a whole lot. Okay, I don't want a crazy. I'm not way over in here. I'm not a crazy person. So I'm gonna just come up just a little bump. Okay, and then I can show you like before and after. Okay, so she's a little bit brighter, of course. All right, so let's get to the final, and then we'll kind of play around with it a little bit. I like a little bit of desat and a little bit of bump and vibrance. It kind of hits the right colors, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna give a little bit of dark, bring that back to the mid, and let this just kind of hover up. But then I like to kind of fade in my blacks. I don't like them to be pitch black, right? So the more you bring this up, it's going to fade those blacks a little bit. So I like to bring that up just a little. All right. Not really worried about the highlights in this picture. I'm already finished with this one, so I want to show you, you know, kind of how I do it, and then finished. Sharpening, sure, we'll just add some sharpening. I mean, it's not going to matter for the sake of showing this video. None of this other stuff really matters. If you want to look at calibration, I'll show you this is my 5-second. Here's how you calibrate something. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn reds all the way up, and we're going to find where our skin tones and our reds have like a nice medium. So like I don't want it here. Okay, does that make sense? I don't want it here. All right, it's got to be blended somewhere in the middle. That gets too pink, so we're going to come back just a little bit. So like right in, see, this starts getting too orange. There we go. So somewhere right in here, and then I'm going to back this down to where it doesn't look desaturated, but it also doesn't look like it's like, you know, she's got a fever. Okay. So there we are right there. I'm going to do the same thing with greens. I'll bump it all the way up. The reason I use calibration before I do any kind of other color adjustments is calibration works off every pixel in the image. Okay. So I'm adjusting every pixel in the image right now. All right. We're going to look at, this is way too high on the teal. And then this is way too high on the yellow. So we're going to search for that happy medium. I don't want her hair like looking like weird, right? I don't want her skin looking weird. The main thing are skin tones and hair. And the whites, I want to make sure that the whites in the dress are as white as they can be. And then I'm going to back this down so it's more of a normal. I don't want it too desatted. There we go, right there. Desatted, is that a word? Blues, we're going to do the same thing. Okay, as you can see, that gets us really green, like, you know, there's a mineral deficiency in the water. And then this is like we're stepping in a lava pool. So let's bring it to a nice, ooh, somewhere in here. It's going to be perfect for this. Yeah, because that gets too green and that gets too red. So somewhere right in here, right in the middle. Perfect. Perfect. All right. And you're like, hey, Kevin, it doesn't look that different. Oh, but it does. Look at that pop. It looks really good. Skin tones are correct. Okay. Skin tones look really good. All right. You see, this is the original. Okay. This is before. This is after. You see the skin tones look really good. Okay. Yeah, we can fix, oh, you know, we can go crazy on the adjustments later. Not really doing that for this video. I just want to show you one more thing really quick, because for some stuff like this, like when you do you know, this type of effect in camera, you're like, oh, well, maybe I want to knock that out. You don't have to knock it out. And let me show you why. When you look for the background, look what it does. It automatically gets a 90% there. Okay, we're 90% there. And the rest of it, I'm going to show you, doesn't matter. So I'm going to darken the background a little bit. All right, see her foot down here? It looks fine. Not worried about that. Who cares? All right, this looks good. We can bump the highlights up to kind of bring that back a little bit. We're going to deepen the shadows just a little bit more. We're going to look at the whites. I want to bring the whites down just a little bit. And then I'm going to give this kind of a blue hue effect, okay? So that she's really popping off the screen here. I'm brightening a little bit more. I like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, see what I'm saying? All right, now let's come down. Let's desaturate it just a little bit. That's fine. I want to add one more thing. I like making this a medium contrast on stuff like this. See how it really gets the contrast going. And then, you know, I see a couple more spots that I'd like to get. So I'm going to turn off the generative AI. I'm in quick remove again. Turn off the generative AI. And I see like this little stuff down in here. It does fantastic about getting little stuff like that. I'm literally just whatever you want to remove, you can go in and remove it. Super easy. I think there were a couple of more spots. Yeah, let's get this spot right here. I may keep this as the final actually. And just not worry with the other. Okay, so yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. This usually works good about 70 or 80, somewhere in there. Yeah, so everything looks good from there. That actually is really good. So you can see before and after. Okay, and that's not showing you the actual before, because the actual before had all this stuff on the side. Now we're going to go to this other image. This is kind of the after. Okay, make sure that we're on the copy, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to show you. I'm just going to delete these generative AI things, selections. All right, literally that's all. It's the same thing as the other. It's so easy. I'm going to show you how easy this was to do. I love the way it picks up this light on the floor and creates kind of this faux light look. Again, this is something that, you know, I was literally just playing around with this day. Okay, this is like the second time I've shot like this. I'm just going to come right around here. All right. I don't like AI to try to create fingers, so I try to keep her fingers in it. But I'm all up in the shadow and stuff. Watch what it does. You're gonna love this. Just it's doing its thing. Hold on. It always puts it on my other screen. I don't know why. Somebody can comment and tell me why it's doing that. I have no idea. Yeah, see, I mean, just look, it created another face out here. You see that? But I don't know. I don't know how to tell you that's awesome. So I like this side as is. Let's cycle through the other ones just to see the options that it gives us. Ooh, I really like that. That's kind of a strong light. No, I like this one. I don't know. That's hard. I'm going to leave 3 on this one. Let's go over here to the left side. It's thinking again. There we go. It's refreshed. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Let's go to this next one. Ooh, that's good. Let's go to the next one. That's good. I'm gonna actually have it do it again. I'm not happy with that. I know it can do better, so I'm gonna let it generate again. Here we go. Ooh, that looks good. Okay. Okay. Ooh. Okay. All right. So this is the second time through. This actually looks really good. And just so you guys know, it's completely different than the first version it gave me, which I thought was excellent with the smoke. It did this. I don't know. I don't know how it did that, but that was awesome. So I appreciate Lightroom doing that for me. So as you can see, I'm not going to go through the whole creating, all the different effects. I did that on the last image, and I feel like that's a waste of time to do it twice. So I'm not going to bore you guys with the details on that. If you want to see how I did that, go back and check it out. You can see here on the right, every time you do a generative AI, it's going to be just a little bit different, even if it's the same exact picture. So it's the same exact picture, and you can see it's just a little bit different. Okay. So now that I don't need those, I'm going to go select those and tell it to delete or remove. I don't know. I don't care if it removes them or deletes them or what it does. I don't even know how to do it. I click delete. Yeah, I can. Cool. That works. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And let's come back here. Fantastic. So, one of the other things that I want to work on, drinking some water. Sorry. One of the other things that I want to work on, and I'm trying not to make this video too long, is one of these pictures. So we took this in the studio. This is just a little dock scene that we've got, right? And I've kind of got it to where I want it, but because of the way I did it as a quick mask in Photoshop instead of doing a full-blown knockout. And now I actually have the knockout done and kind of perfected the way I want it. And so basically I pay for that because it's easier to pay for it, to be honest with you. So let's go into Photoshop. Let's open what I've got. So this is where I'm at, okay? And what I'm thinking of creating with something like this. So what I want to do, and Darby, if you see this, just close your eyes because you're not supposed to see this. So what I want to do is I want to bring in the good knockout over this, and I think we're gonna have a problem because Darby's in the background already. All right, so yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of an issue. So let's just see how this works. I'm going to go ahead and bring up my knockouts folder and come grab this. She has not seen this background. She's not seen this created in any way. This is a little bit of a custom thing, but it's modified a little bit. So this is the original image, okay? And if the background is knocked out by Photoshop, let me show you why I don't like it, first of all. Most of the time, it does okay. It's got this hard black edge around it, okay? Now, because of where we shot it, in the studio, I may have that hard black edge anyway. I kind of hope that I don't. We'll see. So let me go grab the actual knockout of that one. And let's drag it on and see what we end up with. All right, that's about the size that we want it, actually. And about right in there. I think that's going to be good. Let's make her a little bit bigger since we can. If you're gonna adjust a size, guys, just so you know, you don't want it to be lossy when you do it. So one of the ways that I make sure that it's not lossy is when I drag it into Photoshop, to place it on top of or into that template or onto the background, what I do is I make sure that I'm making my size adjustment when I drag it in, okay? Because if I were to say make this big, okay, and then let that save it, okay, it's literally going to save it as that size because this is not like a smart object, okay? So realistically, you want to get it kind of exactly where you want it. Um, yeah, I want more of the dock showing. I want this to be a larger portrait. And we'll get mom out of there. Don't worry. I like this. That looks good. Okay. So what we're going to do is now we're going to, let's see what the original looked like. Okay. So I had her a little bit bigger. Okay. Maybe I do want her a little bit bigger. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it and I'm going to drag it back in. Does that make sense, guys? I hope so. You want to make sure that your model is as big as you want her to be. I'm trying to match up, like, I think I had it about that big, honestly. Maybe bigger? No? No, it's smaller. I'm going to leave this on. This is how I should have done this to start with. Drag this over here and just, we're going to make it the right size. See how easy it is if you've already got it. And I'm just going to use the arrow keys to move it by the pixels. That's literally almost perfect. But let's see if we can get it perfecter. Is there such a thing as perfecter? I don't know. You have to tell me. That's it right there. Boom. Okay, so we'll save that. Turn off the back layer. Now let's go in and let's look. Yeah, see, this is a much nicer knockout, and I'll show you why. See this hard edge? There's no way to get rid of that. Around her face, there's no way to get rid of that. But with this good knockout, you don't have that. It's not there. Okay. Yeah. So this is not meant to be. Problem with this is this background is kind of small, so it's not meant to be printed like super large. Could be a problem. You know, if mom comes back and it's like, hey, I want a 16 by 20 of that. You know, we're at 1500 pixels wide, 300 ppi. We're gonna be stretching a little bit. This is actually the size that this is. This is gonna be made to share online. We're not trying to go crazy with it because you can see how printing it to a 16 by 20, like we're gonna have issues, right? So what I want to do, I just learned something new. So if you are in the Z or zoom tool and you click and hold, if you drag to the right, it zooms in, and if you drag to the left, it's going to zoom out. Look at that. That's awesome. All right, so I digress. What we need to do now is we need to do some fixing, okay? So we need to get rid of mom. Let's get rid of mom. Mom was helping us hold the dress. So we're just going to create a mask. We're going to hit B for brush. Make sure that we're on black. Black hides, white reveals. We're just going to click over mom here. Make sure that we're on this, okay? We don't want to be on her or on that layer because we'll just be creating, you know, black spots. We don't want to do that. I'm using a soft brush at about 50% because I'm not trying to go like too crazy here. Yeah, so that looks good. I'm actually gonna leave it there, reduce opacity. Let's zoom in and let's get a little bit hard. I'm just holding control and option. I don't know what it is on a PC. I don't use a PC. You think you need to use a PC? You're wrong. Whatever. This is fine right back here because this is not mom. This is the background. This is the reflection of that tree that's back there. Okay, see that? That's the reflection of the tree in the water. I'm fine with that. Everything looks good. I can't see mom's leg anymore. Part of that's because of the smoke. Part of that is because it just looks great. Looks great. I can see a little. Is this mom's hand? I don't think so. Nope, it's not. Okay, perfect. Everything looks great. Yeah. So we're going to leave that, and I'm going to bring in this background layer, okay, because I made this dock extend. Can you see that? But what I want to do is I want to mask this layer. There's no dock behind it. What I want to do is I want to mask out Darby in the rest of this layer because I just created this quick, and I don't want Darby to be in it. You know what I mean? Wow, it's not like masking correctly. It's creating a gray. I don't know. Does anybody know why it's doing that? That's crazy. It's because I'm at 50%. There we go. Now we're black. We're good. Let's zoom in a little. Let's make sure we get all of Darby and not really anything else. See how there was that little extra bit back here of the dress? See how I'm getting rid of that? Yeah, just by masking this. And it's gonna make everything look perfect right here. The edge of her dress, did you see that? All right, actually the front entire edge of this dock has a line on it. So I'm gonna remove that because I don't want that bleeding through. I don't want anything here coming through, and that should be it. We should be good to go. Just make sure. Okay. Okay. That's it. I'm not gonna go absolutely crazy with this because this is kind of a hey, I just want to show you what I can do kind of thing. If she wants this large, I'm basically gonna have to rebuild this whole thing anyway. So we're gonna keep that as we got it. All right, so that's the two kind of things that I wanted to show you. You know, if you want, I mean, we're gonna go a little bit deeper in little stuff in here. I'm gonna make sure this looks really nice up in here. One of the ways that I'm gonna do that, just so you know, this is kind of a cheesy way of doing it, but one of the ways that I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna take this layer and the Darby layer up here, and I'm gonna combine them. Okay. So now, actually, I need to grab this layer and that layer, and then combine them. All right, so E. There we go. That's just Command E on a Mac. I don't know what it is on the other thing. And so basically, we're going to take this top layer, and we're going to do a where is it at? Edit, transform, and you can kind of do any of these. I'm going to do just a perspective. I'm going to flip it and flip it. Okay. I'm going to drag this one. It's not letting me, hold on. It's because I'm zoomed too far in. So let me zoom out. There we go. Just Command 0 gets you there. And basically what I want to do is I want to bring this down here. I don't like the way it's flipped. Let's flip it this way and see if this looks better. There we go. That looks good. And then I'm going to skew and like do funky things, right? Because I want like a cool reflection right here. Somewhere in there maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We're doing weird stuff, but I'll show you why. It almost went the way I wanted it to. Hold on. There we go. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to convert this layer to a different light layer, like a soft light. There we go. See, now we're getting a little bit of reflection in here. I want kind of her dress reflecting, kind of what I want. There we go, right in there. And then we'll darken it up in just a second. So, all right, so here's that. Now let's do a layer mask. All right, we're gonna keep it in 100% normal mask. We're just using a soft round brush. Okay, so you can right click to see this menu, get to your soft round brush. Okay. I'm not a Photoshop wizard, okay, but I am a wizard. Kidding. All right, we're gonna go in, we're gonna mask this just a little bit. Ooh, too far. Hold on. Remember when you're doing this to release every now and then. And the reason why is you want to be able to hit Command or Control Z to undo what you did, and you don't want it to be a super large area. You know what I mean? So now I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit. That kind of looks better, doesn't it? Now I'm going to come in here and reduce these down just a little bit. See how that's just this chopping it off. I don't like that. So let's go to like a 5. I'm going to reduce my hardness, and then we're going to come in and just let it fade, right? Just let it fade. Kind of want it right in there, I guess. That looks really good. There we go. We're doing good things, guys. Perfect. All right. I don't know why we're buzzing. I'm gonna come here. I think that's probably about where we want it. Right in there. Ooh, that's starting to look really good. Look at that. We got a little bit too much of the boards, so I'm just gonna kind of lightly go over them. I still want them to kind of shine through. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new layer, change it to multiply or color burn. They both kind of work really good. And then I'm going to come in with about a 30 or 40% brush. You can just tap on your number key. Like if I tap like watch it up here, see it says 30. If I tap a 7, it changes to 70. Like I'll just change it to 30. I do want black. That's good. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to brush in a little bit. Okay. We just want to create the illusion that there's, yeah, see how that's probably a little strong. Okay. We'll reduce the opacity, and that'll create the illusion that the water is actually underneath that dock. Cool, huh? Let's see if that will go behind that. There we go. That looks really nice. Now I'm going to zoom in right in here, and I'm going to kind of do the same thing, just right in here. All right, good. Create a little burn effect. That's fine. It looks really good right through there. All right. Yeah. Looks like it's an actual reflection. I like that. Looks really good. Looks really good. Okay, so let's go. Let's come back out. Yeah. See, it looks like she's really there. Again, guys, if you forgot what this looks like, that's this image right here from the studio. So you can see how we shot this, okay? And then you can see how it's adapted here. Really like the way that looks. I don't know how to go full screen. I thought it was something that it's not. Apparently Command F doesn't do it. So that's okay. Command 0. There we go. Yeah. That's just part of what we can create, okay? Lots of fun. Now, what I will also do is I will adjust, of course, I don't want this hard lighting on her face. I'll adjust, you know, a little bit of the lighting there after I get it back into Lightroom, or throw it over into Evoto. You know, you can do amazing things in Evoto with facial features and stuff like that. So I'd probably do something like that. But for all intents and purposes, this looks fantastic. Got a lot of great images on her shoot. So yeah, it's really fantastic. Now let's go through and do one more thing. Let's save this one last time, and I'm actually gonna do save a copy, save it as JPEG. Let's keep this in her file, and there we go. That works. I forget what we're even naming it, but it's okay. There's not much in there. I'll see it later. No problemo. All right, let's come down here. I've got a couple of these to create. These are limited edition prints. So let's go and let's create these. It'll take me just a minute to find out who I'm going to create these for. They have placed orders, and their orders are on hold right now. So let's go see if we can find that. Spelling, need approval. Here we go. Let's see the image that we want here. That's perfect. We're actually going to do design 2. So let me close this out because we want design 2, which is this one, which is a wonderful design. Okay, so that's the design that we're going to do. Let me come in here and find the actual Photoshop file. You know, I think it's not in here is because I did it in regular Photoshop. That's okay. Go grab the original. Sometimes I do good and I put this stuff where I actually want it. Today doesn't seem to be that day. I think I've hidden it from myself. Give me just a second, guys. There we go. Are these PSD files? This is a PSD template. That should work. Let's drag and drop that. It should just open fantastically. There it is. All right, there is the 5th one. All right, so we're going to get rid of her. We're going to come into color explosion. Color explosion. All right, so Sophia, if you're watching this or you watch this, you'll get to see me create yours. Sophia Runk. All right. And what I want is I want this to be sized. I put these guidelines in here so that I could make sure that this is sized appropriately. So we're going to pull this out to where it's exactly on the line. You know, not online, but on the line. You know what I mean. If you know, you know. All right. This is Lakeway Christian Academy Percussion. So Lakeway Christian Academy Percussion. So what we're going to have to do with this one is we're going to have to reduce the size. Because what I don't want is for that to look weird. This one's going to be a 12 by 15 acrylic. And that'll be plenty big enough. It'll be plenty big enough. So we're fine with that. And then let's go get this image, which I think I can just copy. Yep. And then let me go grab the image. We'll have to do a knockout real quick. Should be fine to do a knockout in Photoshop for this. Photoshop should actually do a really good job. But we're going to have to grab this image from Lightroom and make this as easy as possible here. Let's see, did I already move? I think I already moved these images. It'll take it just a second because there's 10,000 pictures in here. Come on. I believe in you. Contains all. There we go. All right, so now we're going to export this. I've got some export settings preset up, but it's full size to edit is what I call that. Basically, it's at 100%, 300 ppi, and there's no watermarks or anything. It's just full size. I'm just going to go throw this on the desktop super quick, just so it's easy for me to grab that and pull it into Photoshop. So let's go back to Photoshop. Let's grab this file. We're going to pull it in. We want to make sure, again, that we size it correctly to start with. Okay. So we're good. Now, this is going to be a little bit awkward because she's playing the marimba. So where do we want? I think we want the marimba right behind the words. Something like that. So she's like playing the words. But we got to fit her in there. That's fine. That'll be fine right there. Bring it right up to the edge. We can actually fade that in too. That's fine. I actually have some pictures of a marimba from a senior session, and I may need to use those. I'm going to come down just a couple pixels there. Okay, so now that we've got that, we're going to right click, show our menu here. I'm going to just see what remove background does. I'm really interested to see what Photoshop thinks is the background. Okay. I'm okay with that. As a starting point, that gets us a lot of the way there. And you see with the new Photoshop, look how wonderful her hair looks. You know, it does a really good job of cropping her hair out. Really excited about that. So let's go in and do some quick selecting here. So let's see if Photoshop plays nice. So how about this? Perfect. How about you select everything down here and this? Okay. And what about the left? Is there any leftover? Are we good here? I think there's leftover. But I think we're like 90% there. Can we just select all that stuff? Okay. Look at that. That actually looks really good. We're a lot of the way there. So now we're going to come in. Hey, that actually looks really good, because let me show you what happens. I bring her down to where she's supposed to be. And look at this nice, cool fade thing we got going on. We can bring her up a little bit. Ooh, I'm beginning to really like this. Keep her on the edge here. Keep her on the edge. We're good. I am. I'm beginning to really like this. Let me come back up a little bit. You know what? I need to undo and undo. There we go. Now let's just... Oh my gosh, I'm moving things I shouldn't be moving. I hate it when you click in something in Photoshop and you try to drag it and it doesn't drag. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay. Let's do this. We're going to hold down Shift while we drag this up so it does not move side to side. Hopefully. It'll kind of sticky there. Right there, man. I really like that. That looks great. That actually looks really good. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's... one of the things that I kind of want to do with this is I want to, which is not, it's not in here. Yeah, I like the smoke behind her. We're going to add a little bit of extra smoke. for her, and I'm going to add. So this is template smoke, but I'm going to add right here rear light, as if there's a light behind her. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a brush. I'm going to use it on 100% opacity. I'm going to change the layer to a soft light layer at first. Hit D so that my colors are exactly black and white, and then I'm going to hit X to reverse it, and then I'm just going to pop a nice light behind her. Okay, let's change it to hard light. Okay, I like that better. I like that better. Let's keep that and reduce the opacity now. Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. So now I'm just gonna Control Z just to undo that. Okay. Now that I know that I want it soft light or hard light, now I can put hard light at about 40%. Again, I'm just changing my brush up here now. Now that I know kind of where I want to be, and then how big do I want this pop of light behind her? I want it kind of big. I want it about there, right above her shoulder. Perfect. Look at that. I like that. Looks really good now. Looks really good. And if we wanted to add a little bit more, I'll change it to 20% and just add just a little, I don't know, 10%. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. I like that. It helps to separate her a little bit from the background. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, so now let's do one more thing. We want to add a little bit of extra smoke in here. So I'm going to come in just right above her layer. I've got some smoke brushes here. So these are from Ben Shirk, Game Changers. Totally recommend them. Any photographer out there, if you want some smoke brushes, Ben Shirk's smoke brushes are among the best. I've used several different brushes. His are probably the best. I've deleted most of the others. I've deleted almost all the others. They're certainly not in the beta version here. So let me show you what these look like. If I can. 0. There we go. Yeah, it's a really good looking brush. All right, I'm going to come over this side. Yeah, that's about the angle that I want. I'm going to change the angle again. See how this brush, it just does what you want it. I'm going to reduce the size here so I can see exactly the angle that we're going. That's about perfect. That's perfect. Okay, I have to click over here to get rid of that menu because you have to be so far this way. It will get rid of it like when you click. Yeah, look at that. That looks awesome. We want it right at the edge. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, okay? And what I want to do is I want to remove just little bits and pieces of this. So I'm just going to go select another brush. Just any of these smoke brushes will do. Really something like that's pretty even, something like that, or something like that. That's fine. And then I'm going to create, let's name this smoke on right mallet. And then we'll create a little mask. Make sure that black is selected. Bring our size way down because we're just going to brush on this at about a 40% opacity, and we're just gonna brush on or brush off a little bit rather of the stick and stuff, so it looks like it's literally just hovering around the stick while the stick's going through the air. And while we're in this nice and tight, we're going to come in and we're going to go smoke on mallet head with a new layer. Okay. Let's go grab a different look. I like this one. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. I'm going to reverse it so it's kind of over this way. About like that. Almost that size too. Yeah. So it'll be something like that. And let's bring this back to 100%. There we go. There we go. Now it's like it's kind of floating through the air. I actually like that look a lot. just a little bit smaller though. Okay, I lied. A little bit larger. Yeah, and then we're gonna do the same thing we did before. Grab another brush. Use this one this time. Create a layer mask. Make sure that black is selected. It is by default. Come in here at about a 30-40%. And we're just gonna, you know, it needs to be coming off of it, right? That's fine. That's good. Come down to this one and let's reduce. Let's get a little bit of this out of the air below it. We want it to look like it came from above. Yeah, that's looking good. That is looking good. How about that? That's kind of cool, right? Now, let's go create something for this other one. All right. So we're going to zoom back in. Let's go grab us a nice brush. I don't want to use the same one, so let's use a little different one. I really like the way this one looks. See this? Gosh, it's too big. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're all out of whack. There we go. Here we go. Yeah, I like this one. So let's move it around this way and tighten it up just a little bit. See, that's at the almost the appropriate angle for the stick. That's about perfect. We want this to go around just the head of the mallet like that. That's great. Look at that. And then we'll create a little bit more effect with a different brush. But this is going to look fantastic. Okay, so now let's put a 100%. Oh yeah. There we go. Look at that. Bada boom, bada bing. We almost don't need to do anything to it. Okay, so we're going to call this smoke on left mallet head. I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to add another layer. Smoke 2 on left mallet head. And then we'll add just a little bit more smoke. Some movement. We want some movement. That one's actually... If we reverse this... Yeah, it's kind of there. Let's make it thinner now. No, I don't like the way that thins. All right, so let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to put this on just like this. Get it where we want it. Okay, it's almost a little too much smoke on the head. Not quite. It's okay. I'll leave it because I like the way that other brush or that other brush makes that look. But we're going to go adjust this one. So we're going to go into transform. Let's do some warpage. Okay, what I want to do is I want to bring it further this way. Okay, like it's pulling. Let's get that arch back if we can. There we go. And we want it to look like it's coming kind of off the front. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Shape that around. Yep, that's perfect. That's good. Let's go to this right mallet head while we're looking at this. And I want to transform that layer as well. So we're going to go warp. I want to make it look like it's got kind of a little curve to it too. I know this is a lot. It's a lot. I get it. I want to make sure this front end stays at the front of the mallet though. That looks good. That looks good. Do we need to transform this other one too? Let's see. Transform, warp. We can tighten it up here to the stick a little bit. we don't want it so far from the stick. That's starting to look really good, guys. That's looking really good. Okay. Back out. Boom, boom, boom. Looks really good. Let's add just a little bit of smoke behind her. Let's drag this back behind her. Right here. Let's come grab a little bit of smoke effect. Something like this. Oh, it's great. Just a little bit peeking out. I don't like the way that one looks. Let's come down. Let's get, we just want, yeah, there we go. Now we're getting there. Just some wisps up behind her. That looks good. Let's grab another one. We're just going to add another layer. Okay, it's a little big. There we go. It doesn't match the other wisps. Okay, let's stick with that one then. Let's stick with that one. Okay, that looks good. Okay, a little bit of smoke behind her. I'm gonna add a little bit more haze behind her because I want it to look almost like we did this in the studio. You know what I mean? So what I want is some really good atmospheric smoke back here. That's getting there. Forget which one it is that looks really good. Some of these don't look really good for atmosphere, and some of them look fantastic. Yeah, there we go. That one looks good. All right, we're gonna reduce it to about 60% opacity, just so it just adds. It's kind of got the same look up here as it does down there. You see that? See how this is like really pink up here, and then this is kind of like a purplish. All right, we're just gonna add a little bit of that atmosphere in. That looks great. Okay, let's look at this as a whole. Everything looks great. Everything looks really good. Let's get rid of this weird brush look that we got going on. There we go. Look away from it so we can see everything. Looks nice. I think everything looks good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Got a couple more of these to do, but I really like this one. I think it looks really nice. Okay, we're gonna do save as, and Miss Sophia, I think you're done. Sophia, appreciate it. Design 2, and yeah, I'm just gonna save it to desktop for now. Fantastic. That looks really good. Guys, I appreciate you watching this video. I know this might be a little bit long. This might be a little bit crazy. But I appreciate you hanging out with me for a few minutes and watching this. If you learned anything, let me know. If you like what you saw, let me know in the comments. I didn't go super in depth with like how to build templates or anything like that. We're not getting into that today. I may not ever get into that on YouTube because that's kind of one of those things that just it takes so much time. I'm certainly not going to do it live. I would have to record it and then like clip it up. You know what I mean? But if you like what you saw, if you like kind of watching me go through the process of creating these, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try and do more content like this. All right, appreciate it. Hope you have a great rest of your day.